Even if you always take a spare inner tube, a pump and a multi-tool with you when you ride, there may still be occasions where you come unstuck and you're left either facing a long walk home or an embarrassing phone call to get someone to come and pick you up. However, all may not be lost, because coming up are some of our favourite get yourself home roadside maintenance hacks. You've got a flat tyre, you've run out of inner tubes and you've got no puncture repair kit. What do? Well, before you resort to stuffing your tyre with grass, which as we've shown can work as long as you've got a spare hour or so and a good supply, then there is a much better and much easier hack. Firstly, you need to remove your punctured inner tube and then find the hole in it. Then tie a knot in the inner tube over that hole and pull it really tight. Then inflate the inner tube a little bit to make sure it is now airtight, and if it is, you're good to go. Pop it back in the tyre, inflate it, and then be amazed at how you can't even feel the flat spot as you're riding along. Magic. What happens if you tear a hole in your tyre that's so big that when you come to put a new inner tube in, it will simply poke through and then explode as you inflate it? Well, all you've got to do is to line the inside of the tyre with something, and you'll be surprised at just what can do the job. So for example, if you were to have a gel wrapper in your pocket, simply neck it and then you can line the inside of the tyre with that. Or a dollar bill does the job, I'm told, and I suspect most currency will if it's made out of paper. Although I'm probably more likely, if I'm honest, to have a gel wrapper than actual money with me. And if you don't have either of those, then you probably actually would be as well to have a rummage in the hedge next to the roadside and see what you can find. That'd be true recycling at its best. Breaking a rear derailleur is a truly heart-sinking moment. Not only is it a very expensive problem to have, it also looks traumatic with bits of mangled metal everywhere, and it can also seem like your ride is over in an instant. And yes, it pretty much is, but you do not have to walk home. There is a hack. Firstly, we want to split our chain using our chain tool we will no doubt have with us. Then when the chain is apart, we can actually remove the tangled mess that is or was our rear derailleur. And then essentially what we're doing is turning our beautiful 22 geared bike into a rudimentary single speed. So we need to make sure the chain is on the smallest chain ring, and then we need to wrap it around the cassette about midway down the block. So that should give you a gear that can pretty much get yourself home. Now, before you throw your rear derailleur into a bush out of a fit of rage, I would say stick it in your back pocket and take it home. Firstly, so you're not littering, obviously, but also because there's actually loads of really useful bits you can salvage from even the most mangled of rear derailleurs. Now, pulling the chain as tight as you can, you'll be able to see where you need to then split the chain again before rejoining in its shortest configuration, giving you hopefully the right amount of chain tension in your preferred gear so that your chain doesn't keep coming off, or indeed make sure that the chain line is correct so that the chain doesn't keep trying to shift into a larger cog and then potentially breaking the chain again. A truly horrifying roadside bodge then, but an important bit of knowledge that could well help get you out of a very sticky situation at some point in the future. And also, if you needed another reminder, a very good reason why you need to keep your bike clean, because really that kind of mechanical can always be avoided. Oh, and just so you know, no rear derailleurs were actually harmed in the making of this video. I like this one. If you break your gear cable, which can happen out on a ride, then rather than getting stuck in your smallest cog at the back, which is a pretty tough old gear really, then you can do this rather cool little hack. Firstly, unscrew the cable from your rear derailleur and then take the other end of the cable out of your shifter. Now for the cool bit, you need to re-thread the cable directly into your rear derailleur, and what you'll find is that the little barrel that normally lives in your shifter will then get wedged in your rear derailleur, and then you can actually move the mech by hand and then tighten the clamp bolt onto your now tiny section of cable, and it holds it in place. And then you can even use the barrel adjuster to fine tune the position to get your gear spot on. Told you that is cool, isn't it? There you go, job done. Now if your cable actually breaks in the shifter, then all you got to do is tie a knot in the cable and then have that wedged down the barrel adjuster to hold the cable in place. It'll do the job just as well. Looks quite clean really, doesn't it? Finally then, what do you do if you snap your chain and you don't have a chain tool? Or your pedal falls off, or your crank snaps, or indeed your freewheel breaks? How do you get yourself home? Well, you could do what one enterprising GCN viewer did, which was to use your spare inner tube as a tow rope and then harness the power of one of your riding buddies to pull you all the way home. Genius. All I've got to do now is hope that someone actually rides past on this slightly out of the way gravel track. But I hope they do come and take me away from this corner, because I've never had quite so much bad luck in just one place ever before. While we wait, do make sure that you subscribe to GCN. To do it, just click on the globe. And then if you're after more content, if you click just down there, then you can watch that video about stuffing your tyre with grass. Can it be done? And then just down there are 5 actual legitimate roadside maintenance fixes that you probably need to know.